Alright, quick little dev video here trying to explain what's going to be coming up in our Naturel 5. I'm just going to do something a bit different for this one. Instead of going over some of the history, is basically I wanted to make a survival game of Minecraft to play with my son, blah 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 blah. This is a dev build of version 5, and there's been quite a lot of changes. Ooh, shark. That's water. Where to even start? The purpose of this build is to prove, as a proof of concept, that we can play a survival game in our Naturel without any form of world pre-generation. Been working really hard on all of the laggy stuff, and finally got it into a state. Things are working pretty good. So let's try and survive, and I'll just go over some of the changes. Now, as mentioned, none of this game has been pre-generated this time. This is just the starting area, and we are going to try our best to survive. Oh, what's happened since our Naturel 4? A lot of things. Let's start with tectonic. The tectonic mod. Made some changes to that. Switched out the noise generation algorithm. Put in some caching. Lowered some of the whatchamacallits. Some of the octaves, just sort of parameters in the noise algorithm that it uses, all in a grand attempt to make things super efficient. So that should lead to extremely fast and efficient world generation. Kind that means, with a few other tricks up our sleeve, we can effectively run around, hopefully more or less lag free, looking for things to do, with no pre-generation. Everything should just work. That's step number one, but there are many steps in this to get such a system working. It's not just good enough to get the pre-generation of that. Feed. Really need to find some some gravel. So we've got tectonic working a hell of a lot faster than I don't want to say ever thought possible, but a lot faster than it ever did before. And in doing so, let's remove one bottleneck. And I can see some of the stuff generating off in the edge there. So in the sort of survival thing, I've been trying to sort of move back into a sort of a fog of war where the world reveals itself as you move around, and to find more of the world you have to actually explore a bit. Don't need that. And that way, if you don't want to pre-generate the world, you can rely on exploration. Now I've got a map program working at the moment. It's not set up fully, but we've moved to FTB, Feed the Beast Chunks. You can see it here. In future games you'll need an item, is my hope, to access that. But as you can see, distinct from Zero's world map, which was in our Naturel 4, it only reveals and maps those areas around the player that the player has actually visited. So you can pre-generate your world now, if you want to. And it won't reveal the whole map. You still have to explore. You still have to figure out where things are. Alright, what else? You may or may not have gathered out that we've changed over some little grass textures and things. Made some things about the world nicer and more interesting. You might have caught up in the corner there the little generation config settings for Tan's huge trees. Now, Tan's trees were one of the reasons that had to move to trying to pre-generate things in the first place. In addition to modifying Tectonic mod, I've also running a slightly modified version of Tan's to try to make things as efficient as possible. Tan, the author of that mod, is also currently deep at work trying to optimize his, so we'll wait and see how that goes. And you know, he's done a lot and he's done it really well. So he's optimized the hell out of that thing too for the next release. Ours is a custom version of that at the moment, branched off of one of his sort of work in progress things there. So it's a little bit different, but it's basically moving in the exact same direction that he's moved in. So we'll wait until he releases his next version, and then we'll see about whether we can merge any optimizations that are left over into his branch. And hopefully that'll be the future of Tan's huge trees. So with Tectonic, Tan's huge trees, we've got a few more sort of little technical details on how we've tried to pull this magic off. One of them, whee! What else have we done? Better chunk loading. Also a customized version of that I've added into this. So the goal of that is to be able to operate in a multi-threaded world generation environment to predict where the player is actually headed and silently and transparently load chunks before they get there. Generate the world before they get there. And it's working pretty good. Again, it's a customized version of that. I really need to find out how I can get in contact with the mod author, because I don't think that one's explicitly licensed for me to be able to put up another version. So I really want to just see if I either can, or B, it hasn't been updated in a while, merge my changes into the mainstream so that everyone can benefit from it. I mean, I can't find any actual gravel here, and it's going to be nighttime and I'm going to die. That's alright, just to sort of show that this is all working. As you can see on the map where we've started and where we're going. And as you know, as we move around, some of the LODs and distant horizons stuff should also, hopefully, without affecting too much of the frame rate or the tick rate or anything like that, be silently generating and doing things all of the time. So, yeah, the better chunk generator, I think it is, predictive trunk loading. It tries to move ahead of the player and load and generate the chunks before they get there. Another change and addition that has gone into this model. Now, needless to say, fixed a bug in the old one with photon shaders, so rain and stuff now looks good and decent. This is also a slightly optimized and edited version of Photon. I've got to get onto the author of that and see if they're interested and see if it works as well. That being said, Photon is pretty well optimized already, so my changes don't do that much. But it does allow me to operate in this exceptional quality and really good frame rates. I don't know if it comes across in the videos, but for my computer, this works really well. It's going to go into nighttime now, and okay, I'm going to die. Photon has the best sunsets of any shader system, I have to say, and the best skies. It's really remarkable how amazing it looks and works. What else? Oh, of course. Customized version of C2ME, the concurrent chunk engine. So, of course, it's not just good enough that we've optimized tectonic so that it behaves more like vanilla. Not more like vanilla in terms of complexity, but more like vanilla in terms of the just raw efficiency. But we've also used a customized version of the chunk engine, concurrent chunk engine of C2ME, and we've put in some memory leak fixes and some deadlock bug fixes, things like that. And so now the world generation is not only fast, efficient, and multi-threaded. That goes for oh. Yeah, fast, efficient, multi-threaded, and all of those other mods and things. Oh, wait, yeah. So all of the other mods have also been made sure that they work relatively well with multi-threaded chunk and world generation environment. So all of those have been sort of customized alongside all of the changes that have been made. So everything is operating beautifully smooth, and hopefully get through this video without a crash or any more explicit errors. I'm still looking for gravel though. Let's see if we can get through the night and hope that the weather doesn't turn something shocking. And yeah, if everything everything I say is true, we'll get through with no lag, no frame rate degeneration of any major kind, all while playing on super. This man, this is impossible. Just hope a shark or anything doesn't turn up. What other things? What are the technical things? So I'm missing. Changed to chunky. Changed out chunk pre-generator. I moved chunky to be again fixed up some memory links, fixed up some deadlock sort of things, concurrency issues, so that it can all run properly. Yep. In case it's not obvious, the spiders struggle in water. That's why I'm trying to preference safety. Yeah, saved up chunky so you can pre-generate everything. God. Oh. Yeesh. Spiders and scorpions. Chunky so that you can pre-generate. If the need or desire. And again, yeah, it's all taking into account the multi-threaded chunk generator, better tectonic, everything like that. Made, oh, of course, nyfs spiders, spoiled mod, and various other things. Again, all efficiency, edits, changes, fixing up multi-threaded crashes, fixing up world generation issues. Yeah, generally been a low-level. Oh my god, I'm gonna run out of stamina soon. Fixing up all of those things so that they just gonna secretly quietly take a bit of a breather here. What else? I am looking at Distant Horizons. I'm looking at a few other mods and things. I'm gonna have to look into Oculus to see if we can fix a bug with these shaders here at the moment. Yeah. So we've still got a few more bug hunts and optimizations and things that can be done, but at the moment, this is optimized pretty heavily. It's hard to see how we're going to get much more optimized than this in practice. What else have we done? We've got the leaf textures, as we can see. We'll have to generalize those to all the plants. I've changed the Feed the Beast map. Whoa, ow, oh god. Made a few changes to what mods are in and out. I had to get rid of advanced chimneys. Not mainly because I'm pretty sure it's not open source. And the license might not be permissive enough. Again, there's sort of this real problem of I can go into the individual mods and make changes for things. But if they're not open source and they don't have a permissive license, I'm very limited in what sort of fixes. If I can't find contact details for the mod author, it's very hard to fix fundamental game-breaking bugs. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that. So some of them have had to go. Neolithic was one of them. Advanced Chimneys is one, which I'd love to put back in, but it's got a bug and I can't find a way to get around the license issues. Might have to reach out to the author if they still exist. Again, don't know necessarily how. What else? There's one or two. Made changes to, yeah, nyfs spiders. So I've done an efficiency change there to make that a hell of a lot less laggy than it was. Some changes to spoiled, allowing us to merge items via average weighting and fixing up a couple of side bugs with that. There's another side effect there with Alex's Caves, which he's managed to fix. Yeah, more bugs, more optimizations, all sorts of things actually. Just gonna see if I can get my stamina back. Well, I'm half dead, but at least I made it through the night, and frame rates kept up, shaders have kept operating beautifully, everything is going exactly according to plan. No lag. Needless to say, all of this performance is while recording this simultaneously, so probably acts a little bit better than this. It's really hard to think while trying to survive, so I should probably rethink these videos and script them in the future. Oh man, where do we think gravel will be? Maybe on the other side. It's hard work living in the desert. Maybe over there. The reason the animations with the hands are a little bit different. Just testing that one out. Not sure whether it's going to stay in or go. See how I feel. It's mainly a replacement for the sort of first person camera, which I really want to keep in, but really, really finicky with all the other mods. So Neolithic's out, advanced chimneys had to go, a couple of other ones which I can't remember off the top of my head, but subsequently a couple more have sort of come back in. Upgrade stick versions of Create. General other config fixes and changes. Upgraded to dynamic trees. Yeah. All I'm going to say is, I think it's performing well, and during this whole recording session, as far as I can tell, no noticeable effect on lag, no noticeable effect on frame rate. Everything is acting just as I want it to. Oh, gravel! Now this is a dev version, so still a lot of more work to do. If any of that dead grass is actually any good for fiber gathering. Get some wood from that tree. Water. The running during the night has sapped me of my moisture. through the desert. I think I can mine iron ore with sort of flint pickaxe. I just need to take a breather. One of your harsh environments to start in. Now currently you can get water from any water block. Might be a bit much work for me to do in the short term. Try to differentiate between oceans and rivers. Though it is theoretically possible, so maybe I should look into that before the final release of Naturel 5. Some things are going to get hostile at night. Oh, the things you live for. Oh, not dead. It's not too cold here at night. Now, in case it needs to be said, just on a technical note, because you're operating in the fog of war, you know, the world gets revealed as you explore and go out, but those areas that you have explored, distant horizons takes care of them. Generates the LODs behind you. You can always look back and see the landscape that you've already explored and come from, but in order to explore new landscape, and it is possible for me to enable distant generation and things like that. But I want to make exploration a fundamental part of Naturel. What the hell are those? A fundamental part of the game, so that you have to get out there and explore to find things. You can't just always tell exactly where everything is. It'll be that more on the gameplay design side of things rather than the realism side. Oh yeah, as I said, in the future you won't be able to do that because you need an item to open up the world map. But during these testing phases, I don't mind it. Right, we'll probably leave it there at this struggle to get into what looks almost like a jungle description. And I think it's going to be too tight to easily get my boat through. On the other hand, I can use that tree to get some wood, so that's nice. See if I can survive the morning. Cool. Now there are two types of trees, obviously. Tan's dynamic trees and Tan's dynamic trees? Tan's huge trees and the dynamic trees. Both of them can create relatively ornate things, but you can see here, yeah. Oh. Along with the photon shaders. Oh. Photon shaders and actually I was gonna say Tans must be responsible for that canopy, but I think it is both the dynamic trees and Tans working in tandem, possibly. Maybe? I'll be able to tell a little bit more once the sun comes up, hopefully. For now, does that work? Yes. Let's see here. If I'm lucky, yay! It's just another bug. The photon shaders that I wanted to fix. Bug. Design choice. I don't want the fires to emit light until you've actually lit them. Used to be able to like put them in your hand and walk around like it had a torch or something. Where is my boat? Let's set it over there. Yes, it needs to be said. The frame rate now, with these shaders, with all of these improvements... What is that? It's in the water. I kind of want to go and see, but I kind of don't. Frame rate and performance with the shaders on is better, even without pre-generation, in my opinion, than our Naturel 4 with the fully pre-generated world. These are not low detail shaders or anything. It's performing exceptionally well, I have to say. So yeah, very happy with how things are going. Come on, son, just go down so I can get a better look of this landscape that I'm gonna try and explore. Oh, it always looks horrible on YouTube videos too. Come on, sunlight, come on. Maybe I'll park around the side here. It's just a fly. Oh no, butterfly? Yeah. Ah, what the? It's a mosquito. Always annoying because of their tendency to poison you. One of the reasons to be wary when traveling through the tropics. At least now I can see. And it's such a simple little thing, but I love the feeling of, yeah. What's the word? Density and wilderness. Comes from the world generation now. Yeah, what was that? Oh, fish. Isn't that great? Well, I don't know if I've had too much rain in my example videos. So that's a delightful turn of events. Just as we've found a cave. We're not dying, but we don't really have much food. We've got a bit of shelter. Got a campfire. I don't have a fire starter yet. But overall, yeah, really happy with our Naturel 5 and how it's turning out. Let's see if we can shelter in the cave here. Really putting our shaders through their paces. Well, looks like a pretty little cave. Oh. At least we got some wood. It's a bit awkward. Right, seems like a pretty good place to leave it. Huddled in a cave, looking out into a tropical jungle biome, figuring out what to do next. Cheers.